but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on. I put my feet up.
I've been working on my Tolsta Tee for the last 2 weeks, and this is how far I am. So I'm working on the ribbing down here, and I'm almost done with it. And I'm hoping that I have enough yarn to complete it. So I'm knitting this using cotton, 100% cotton, Premier DK. I think it's called Premier Sprout DK. Let me see the exact name. But it's a DK weight from Premier. So this is cotton Sprout Speckles, which is a DK weight yarn. 100% cotton. This colorway is called Camping, or color number 151, and this yarn comes in 194 yards, and I bought 4 of them, and this is kind of the last ball, and I'm hoping that it's going to be enough to complete my t-shirt, because right now I'm on the ribbing and then I need to pick up the sleeves and knit them. But what happened was I was working on this one using this yarn, but I had wound it into a ball and it rolled and fell into my cup of tea, which was kind of random, and I soaked it and washed it right off. I don't think it got stained, but I have been waiting for it to dry, and I think this was, before all that happened, it was enough to finish the body. So I'm hoping that I have enough here to finish everything, but I'm gonna use up this first, and then if I still need some more yarn, then I'm gonna dive into this one. But that was a very random thing to happen to me. And I had put my cup of tea down while I was trying to get everything organized so that I can sit down and start knitting. And out of nowhere, the ball of yarn rolled and got into my cup of tea, and that was so random. But I think I was able to save it. But it also has like these brown stains, not stains, speckles. It has some brown speckles. You can see it better over here. And so I'll just continue working on this, and I'm hoping that I can have these completed over the weekend, because if I focus on this ribbing, I can be able to finish it tonight. Maybe 2 hours of knitting should be able to do it. At least that's what I'm hoping. And then I can pick up the sleeves and continue working on that. And I'm working on this simultaneously, or at least I'm alternating between these and my current pair of socks. But right now I'm really going to focus on this and see how far I can get.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on. I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving
I have another
this moment.
update on my knitting vlog this morning, and I've been working on 2 things for the past 2 weeks, but I've been super busy, so I haven't been able to knit as much. and I feel like it's been such a hot summer, so I feel like that's been slowing me down as well. But I've managed to finish. I don't remember if I had one finished sock the last time we spoke, but right now I have almost 2 finished socks. And so this is the first one, it's already finished, and I decided to do the cuff in a different color, and this is Cascade Heritage. I don't remember the color name, but I'm gonna leave it in the description down below. And so yeah, I believe I finished this since the last time I updated you on my knitting. So I decided to use this so that I can have a bit of this in my stash to use in a project that I'm planning to cast on in the fall. And then on the second one, this is what it looks like. And this is the Cascade Heritage that I typically have been using this on different heels, but for this one I decided to use it on the cuff because I didn't want to have too many tails to weave in on my socks, and changing the color of the heels, it's pretty, but it's also tedious when it comes to weaving in tails, which I don't really enjoy. And so this is where I am with the second sock. So this is something that I can finish this week, so that's what I'm hoping to do. And I believe I have 65 rounds. So I have 65 rounds on the cuff up here, and then for the ribbing here I do 25. So there's not much left to go, and these are 68 stitches. So I have 34 on each needle, which is not too much to work with, and it goes really fast. So I'm hoping that I can finish this in a few days. And at the same time, I've been working on my Tolsta Tee, and I've done a bit of progress this week, and I'm working on the sleeves, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to finish it as well. And I like that progress, and I think initially I thought I was gonna be doing yarn chicken, and I think that's why I was kind of slowing down, because I don't think I can find this yarn anymore that I'm using on my Tolsta Tee. And so typically I was just thinking of what other options I have, and I was thinking that I could probably go back and use a solid gray that I have that's a similar weight, but as of right now the Tolsta Tee is just sitting because fingers crossed I have enough yarn to finish the sleeves. So I'm gonna continue working on this, and hopefully I'll get a few rows in before I have to head out to go
And
to
we
work.
just sing along, and I can't help but feeling just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment.
As I come to the end of this vlog, I am so happy to be ending with a finished object. And I finally finished my must stash yarn socks. And this is how they turned out. They turned out so beautiful. So I've been working on this for the last 2 weeks, and I've also been working on my Tolsta Tee, and that's a pattern by Rebecca Clow, which I've talked about, or which I shared at the beginning of the vlog. And my goal was to have the two projects finished, but unfortunately I was only able to finish this one this morning. On the Tolsta Tee, on the sleeves, I've picked up one sleeve, and I've knitted a few rounds, and I'm hoping to finish it as soon as I conclude this vlog. But this is my finished object, which I really like. These socks turned out really nicely. I had a little bit of trouble on the second sock. I don't know what I was doing. I think I wasn't paying attention, and the yarn split. Actually, this yarn, this is Cascade Heritage. It tends to split. It's really soft, and I like it, and I have a little bit of it in my stash, but I've noticed that it can easily split. I don't know why. It's a merino nylon blend, and it comes in such nice colors, and it's an affordable, so I like it. But I've noticed that it splits, and so I think what happened was I wasn't really paying close attention, and I think I was knitting and watching something on TV, and so I split stitch on the I split the yarn, and I continued knitting. And then when I looked back and I noticed that the stitches were not as even, I went back and fixed that. But I've noticed that I think for some reason I wasn't really paying as much attention on the second sock. This is the second sock, and the curve doesn't look as smooth as the first one, but blocking it is going to smooth out everything. And these are toe-up socks, so I use a toe-up recipe, and I'm going to leave the details down below, which I use for all my socks. And these are 68 stitches, and then I did 60 rounds for the foot, and then I did 75 for the calf, which is more than I typically do. I typically do 65 rounds, but I decided to do 75 this time, and I increased a few stitches when I got to close to the ribbing up here, because these are longer than I typically do, so I decided to increase so that they can fit the calf nicely. And then for the ribbing, I did 2x2 ribbing, and I did 25 rounds. So they turned out really nice, and they look beautiful. And then I'm gonna leave this colorway in the description, but this colorway is Must Stash Yarn Time Lord, and this is a perfect match sock set. And this is an old colorway that I've had in my stash since 2014, so I am so happy to be able to finally use it. I am trying to use things that have been in my stash for a long time. Going back and looking through, and I plan on knitting up those yarns that I've had forever. And I'm also trying to reduce my buying, because I want to utilize what I already have. Because sometimes I go to my stash and I find yarns that I forgot that I had, or like when I bought them, I had this great idea of making a specific project, and then I got sidetracked. And I think that is what happened with this one. And I have some yarn left. I didn't weigh the yarn, but I have these two left. Oops. And I'm collecting these in my stash because I plan on making a scrappy blanket soon, and I'm going to be holding two fingering weight yarns together. But I'm also thinking of doing like a neutral background, and then just keep adding all the leftovers that I have. but I haven't really decided on that completely. But I have a lot of neutral yarns that I've been collecting over the years, and I'm thinking that that will make a good background, and then just use all my leftovers to add onto the blanket, and just go with it without really planning my colors. And because I really love scrappy blankets, like this one is just one of those scrappy blankets that I grabbed whatever was in my stash and added it, and it turned out really nicely. And so there is no like rhyme or reason to it. I just grabbed whatever bits and pieces I had left, and I worked them using a single crochet. No, half double crochet is what I prefer to use when I'm working on a scrappy blanket. And I'm gravitating towards either a knitting the entire blanket in garter stitch, or crocheting using a half double crocheting. But I'm thinking more, I might end up doing a crochet, because it takes up a lot of yarn and I'm trying to use up the stash, but I'm also faster when I'm crocheting. So I might end up doing a crochet blanket, but as I'm speaking to you now, I'm not sure. So that is my finished project, but I also have this yarn here that I'm going to cast on another pair of socks as soon as I'm done talking to you. So this will be coming up soon, and I'm so eager to see. So this is another stripy yarn, and as you can see, it's paint box yarn, and I've already knitted a pair of socks in another colorway, and I'm so eager to cast on this to see how it's gonna stripe, because for some reason this summer I'm just loving stripes, and this is going to be for me. And I want to finish the Tolsta Tee, and then I'll be working on these simultaneously, or I'll be alternating between the two. But I'm also planning on picking up some of my old projects and finishing them, so that I can have time to cast on something fresh, because I plan on working on a pullover in the fall, but I also wanna have my needles free, so that I can have needles to work with. And this one is 75% superwash wool. It's not merino, it's just regular wool, and then 25% polyamide. And I love the socks that I knitted with the other colorway, and so I'm so eager to cast on this one. So be on the lookout for a new project coming up. And that is all I have for you today. I hope that whatever you're working on, whether you're knitting or crocheting, that you're having a wonderful time. And until next time, happy knitting and happy crocheting.